Good morning. Today we're looking at Section 2, the changing role of industry. Our central question, our EQ, is how did Alabama produce and distribute goods to help its economy after the war? Section 2, the changing role of industry. What terms do you need to know? You need to know expand, coke, and impurity. Introduction. New industries began to expand after the Civil War. Many farmers left the land and looked for jobs in factories and mines. And here is a picture of the Henley Manufacturing Company in Roanoke, Alabama in 1901. This is known as Roanoke's greatest economic profit during the time. And it's right here in Randolph County. The mill produced yarn, canvas, and fabric. The iron and steel industry. After the Civil War, people learned to make steel, a metal stronger than iron. Central Alabama had coal for coke, iron ore, and limestone. These resources caused the growth of the city of Birmingham. Iron and steel were shipped all over the world from Alabama. This is a steel mill near Birmingham, Alabama. This is what coal looks like. You can see it has a lot of texture, and when you touch it, it comes off on your finger as gray. Iron ore and limestone. Birmingham, the magic city. Industry pushed Birmingham into the fastest growing and largest city in the state. It grew so fast it was called the Magic City. The city was laid out in 1871 by Eaton Land Company, and the city began to manufacture cloths, bricks, cottonseed oil, and railroad equipment. This is a picture of Birmingham in 1885. Gaston, I put it on a map for you because if you're like me, it helps me remember things when I have a visual and when I can see where it is on a map. This is a picture of Gadsden in 1887 in aerial view. Here's Gadsden. Here's Randolph County way over in East Alabama. Gadsden was founded in 1845 on the banks of the Coosa River. The city became a large iron and steel making city. Anniston, the model city. Here's Anniston on a map. This is our Anniston, yes. So when we go to town, some of you say, I'm going to town. That usually means Anniston. And here we are in Randolph County. So we travel from Randolph County all the way through Cleburne to Anniston. Anniston started as a manufacturing town called Woodstock. Later, the town became Anniston and was the fourth largest city in the state. A large industry grew making pipes of iron, steel, and clay. Bessemer, the marble city, was named after Henry Bessemer in 1887 and was named after this Englishman who invented a way to make steel at a lower cost. The Bessemer process removed impurities in the steel. The city's main industries were railroads.
Let God help you.
Were railroads and making iron and steel. The coal mining industry. Birmingham, Bessemer, Gadsden, and Anniston had industry that created many jobs. Coal mining increased to power the industry, and the work was hard and the pay was low, but many thought that it was better than farming. Immigrant workers came from Italy, England, Scotland, Ireland, Holland, and Russia to work in mines. Mines helped cities grow such as Alden, Bayview, Ishkuda, Ruffner, Etna, and Central City. The textile industry. Mills were built in Alabama after the war. And as I showed you earlier, this is the Hanley Mill in Roanoke, Alabama. As far as I know, it's still there, or at least part of it is still there. These mills used Alabama's cotton and provided jobs. When workers have jobs, they have extra money to spend, and the economy improves. These are workers leaving the cotton mill in Mobile in 1914, and this is around 1901. Mill villages. Villages grew near mills and company-owned houses and paid little or no rent. Mill villages had schools, churches, and stores nearby. Most mill workers were women, and one of the few jobs women could get. Children also worked in mills. Can you believe that? The women and children were cheap labor, and this attracted many textile mills. Workers sometimes lived in houses owned by the company. Now, these are mill houses, mill villages, and there is still a mill village in Roanoke, and the houses are livable, and people still live there. Child labor. Many children worked in the mills and had little to no time for school or play. Laws to protect children began in 1887. Children under age 14 could not work longer than 8 hours per day. Factory owners did not like the law and were able to get it repealed. Reverend Edgar Murphy worked to get a law passed in 1907 that said that children under the age 12 could not work. Do you know that most of you would have been made to work during this time if you were under the age of 12? These are child workers at a mill in Huntsville, Alabama. The lumber industry. The coastal plain was known as the timber belt. Sawmills expanded there after the war since people needed wood to rebuild. The lumber industry grew and Alabamians were able to sell it to other states and countries.